with the right cameras and other electronics in the glasses, it can measure where you are, know where you're looking, and make that information from the metaverse come to life in the real world right in front of you.
This bag ain't never going out of style. This bag ain't never going out of style. Gucci, Louis, Fendi, Prada might have got a while, but this bag ain't never going out of style. Ooh, she feeling my style.
What's poppin'? It's your boy Cash Scouvet, feeling that midsummer vibe with my man DJ Lex. And this is Show Poppin' Crypto, where you check your prejudice at the door. This ain't your average tech show. We like to have some fun with it while discussing the cutting edges of Web3. There's no investment advice in this show, just dope music combined with new innovations. So DJ Lex, who we got on today, man? That's right, today I'm interviewing the founder and CEO of Vuzix, Paul Travers. They make different types of AR glasses so you can see augmented reality directly through your eyewear. So that's doctors, surgeons, warehouse workers, the military, athletes, metaverses have all used Vuzix. Paul was the first to ever make a VR headset for the consumer marketplace way back in 1992. So I can only imagine what the future holds for Vuzix now. So DJ Lex is going to drop this beat, and I'm going to spit something about what I'm envisioning, and then we'll bring on Paul, and he'll give us the Vuzix roadmap. I see the bigger picture, clearing the minutia, put on my Vuzix, peer into the future. Every industry I see reality is augmented. In 5 years, they'll be wishing that they all did it. Brick phone to smartphone, whole bunch of new tricks, desktop to laptop. Then come to Vuzix, even after millions, it still didn't change me. Except for now, I got a whole computer where my shades be. It's crazy, they got them underwater too. Cause riding my own wave is what I gotta do. Splashes, until the next day passes. Waving at the women wearing x-ray glasses. It's high-tech future. If you can't be Superman, then try Lex Luthor. Paul is a smart one, got the hard part done. Even Kathy Wood put him in the ARC fund. Yeah, Paul supplying the shit. So when everybody's scared, I'll be buying a dip. See his VUZI on NASDAQ. When it backtrack to its all-time high, it'll pass that. Spitting rhymes ain't no better than mine. I'm Cassius Couvé, I stay ahead of my times. See my destiny, it better be Web3 music coming out of every pair of brand new Vuzix. Lex.
Vuzix. Vuzix.
DJ Lex. If you ain't sleeping, make sure you follow, like, and subscribe so that way you get notified every time we drop a new show. Without further ado, I'm going to bring on Paul, the founder and CEO of Vuzix.
Cassius, that was awesome. I gotta say, I've not seen Vuzix portrayed quite like that. And I think you nailed it, actually, in a lot of ways. Well done.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, Paul. These are not Vuzix, just so everybody knows. These are just Gucci's. But, you know, we're going to get into what you got coming down the roadmap. Got some questions for you. But first of all, just in a nutshell, what is Vuzix?
Yeah, Cassius, you kind of nailed it with your intro there. You know, we make wearable computing systems that, you know, they're going to look exactly like a pair of Gucci's as you're rocking here now. You know, we started actually, as you said, as a VR company, but we kind of regrouped and we were working with the US defense markets, special forces guys, and we made this thing called TACI, and it was kind of a bulky thing, but you could take a robot, throw it in a building and drive the robot around inside the building and see what the robot was seeing through these displays we made. These guys had to plug them into their tough books. They were, you know, this big bulky thing. They're like, look, we want to get rid of all that stuff. We want a pair of Oakley style Ray-Ban kind of glasses. In fact, they called it the Oakley Gate, that have computers, everything in it. You put them on and you don't need anything else. And so Vuzix, over the years, in enterprise, industry, medical, I mean, you named a bunch of really cool areas where we work. We make these lightweight, they're like 2.8 ounces glasses today. Some of my buddies behind me are wearing some of them. These are industrial. I mean, they're designed to go to work. We are working on the technology that goes into actually making that Oakley Gate, these glasses that are going to look like everybody will want to wear them, because that's the key to the future of this marketplace. Big, bulky, heavy doesn't cut it. It's got to be fashion forward stuff. People put these things on, they're a fashion statement they are about who they are. So if you look like you just stepped off the Starship Enterprise, forget it.
Right.
So that's what Vuzix is about. Yeah. We're about making the wearable computing systems of the future glasses.
Wearable computing systems. So that's like what I said. It's like a computer for your face, like the hardware. Tell us a little bit more about like how does it work, right? Is there software goes into it? I mentioned like music playing coming out of them, like a computer on your face would play, you know, iTunes player, for example. Go into a little bit more about that.
Yeah, Cassius, this is the cool thing, right? I mean, when you've got a phone today you pay Pokemon Go, you hold the phone up and you point it down the street and the camera looks, and then the street shows up on the back of the camera and you're kind of like trying to figure out where you are and point it. With the glasses on, all that computer information can be associated with everything in front of you. So when you look down the street, you see the Pokemon character sitting in the middle of the street like it actually belonged there. Directions on the road, arrows that are literally painted on the roadway in front of you. Maybe we can hire an avatar to walk with you to help you get to the restaurant, kind of stuff.
How about that? Yeah.
It's going to completely change the way computing's done, Cassius. It's as cool as the internet was to computing. This is a huge step forward. And that metaverse everybody talks about.
Right.
You know, you put the VR headset on and you step inside the web. Imagine when the web steps out into the real world and it becomes part of everything that we do. This is where it really gets exciting. This is where everybody will do it because it's part of life.
And now, yeah, go ahead.
That part of life part in enterprise right now is becoming very important. We have people in the medical community that wear our glasses and they're doing an operation. They get to a certain point and they need the med tech's input as to what they should be doing next. With the glasses on, a med tech who could be sitting in a conference room in New York City logs into a piece of software over the internet, HIPAA compliant. He's literally like he's standing there next to that doctor in the operating room, helping him do the operation without even being in the room. So the metaverse connected stuff to the real world, and that's happening in many industries, and it's just getting started.
Just getting started. Well, so I had the founder and CEO of Superworld on. They're a metaverse that covers the real Earth. So it sounds like something like could work right now. Their application works on a phone, like you just mentioned earlier. But like if you had glasses that you could tap into it, like everything would like seamlessly, it would just make sense. And so that's why I like to have people like you on my show, basically, because it's what's coming. It's what's coming next. And, I'm all about tech innovations, Web3, metaverses, and how basically blockchain technology can fit into what's coming, because I believe blockchain is going to be taking over, the third iteration of the internet. And you're making like the hardware for a lot of people make the software, right? You're making actually like the hardware for what would be used for the metaverse in a way that's much better than a big bulky headset that's got to plug into a computer.
The hard bits, Cassius, is the optics and the display engines to make these things happen. I mean, if you look at things like Magic Leap or HoloLens, and not to throw anybody under the bus, I mean, these are amazing pieces of kit, but look how big they are. And you're just not going to use that walking down the street in New York City or going to the theater, or, I mean, they're just not designed for the real
swimming.
world.
So that I mentioned that, and so you guys have one on the website. We'll tell them where the website is, but there's one for swimming as well. You have like laps and a coach and all kinds of stuff to put on the goggles.
That's right. That's right. And all these things are designed to work in the real world, though. And they're, the thing that makes it work is the optic systems that we developed at Vuzix. We make these things called waveguides. Literally, the waveguide is it's a thin window. It's like your glasses, your Gucci glasses that you just held up. The tinted parts in the front.
That's some other
What we do is we put nano structures on the surface of those things. And with that, you can put a little tiny display in the upper temple area. And when you put the glasses on, boom, the video, the imagery, the virtual world, the metaverse literally comes through the glasses and gets presented out in front of you. And then with the right cameras and other electronics in the glasses, it can measure where you are, know where you're looking, and make that information from the metaverse come to life in the real world right in front of you. And it's those optics that we do in high volume right here in Rochester, New York, which not many companies, if any, can do in high volume, is what really is the core behind Vuzix's technology. Not to mention 25 years of being in this industry and understanding how to make it all come together and work.
Well, that's the other thing that leads me to like your partnerships, right? Now, you got some news just recently happened just this week, right?
Yeah, that's right. And in fact, there's a lot happening at Vuzix, and we're working with a lot of very large companies. You might imagine everybody's trying to solve this problem. And in the defense space, in particular, the whole idea of getting a waveguide that's manufactured in the USA is almost impossible today. And these waveguides are an integral part of the information systems that are being used in the US military today. IVAS, which is a Microsoft program, has been having some challenges because of the way their headset works. And so all these other defense companies now are building their own systems, and they're all looking for sources for waveguides made in the USA. And there's one company that does that, and that is Vuzix.
So tell us though, you just had some news about a specific company though. You're allowed to say?
Yeah, I can say L3 Harris, which
L3 Harris.
Yes, they're one of the top 15 defense suppliers in the United States today. In fact, they sell to allied partners at the same time. They're communications company, they're night vision systems, enhanced night vision goggles, and they're looking at using our waveguides throughout their product lines to give enhanced capabilities to the soldier, right on through to maintenance, repair, and overhaul, the whole bit. But
why don't you this is a good time, just tell us the website where people can go to find more information, and then we'll go into how they can invest.
Yeah, the website, it's Vuzix, VUZIX.com, VUZIX.com. Yep, and you're right, we're on the NASDAQ. Our symbol is VUZI. And, from a valuation perspective, Cassius, it's very interesting. There's private companies that have been purchased that only make a waveguide, and they're being made in China right now for $500 million just because they make waveguides. Vuzix also has this micro LED technology that we just acquired, little teeny tiny display engines, super bright, the size of your pinky fingernail, maybe a pencil eraser engine that can just disappear in these temples that are going to be full HD, full color. You put all this stuff together, man, and we're miles ahead of practically everybody in the space, including some of these giant companies that are spending billions of dollars. Many of those companies are coming to Vuzix to work with us.
Well, I've talked about my rap was kind of a piece of art looking into the future, right? 5 years into the future. And I'm, basically just assuming that everybody's going to want to incorporate augmented reality some way into their business, right? Just like if anybody remembers what it was like before the internet, a lot of people were like, well, I don't need a website. I'm not a tech company. But there's other ways that you might not think of augmented reality used to help a business, right? Like, so for Amazon workers in the warehouse, for example.
Yeah.
Tell us about how that works and then where you see the future just in general for augmented reality.
Amazon is using our glasses in many of their distribution centers, in their warehouses. The warehouses are complex systems today. They're all computer driven. There's robots all over the place, and to repair and maintain that equipment is very complex. Right. And you've got guys that were doing it that are retiring, and then you got the younger guys that are trying to learn how to do it, guys and gals. And the best way to do that, a really good way to do that is with our glasses, because you can have an expert join and help anytime they need it in their facilities. And that, Amazon has gone public with that. They're using them throughout many of their European operations, and they're moving them into the States also. We have a bunch of companies like that. You might imagine using them in a distribution center for packing pallets. Now, if you think about that job, there's a pretty high turnover, right? So every time you turn around, somebody's leaving, you got to train a new person. Packing a pallet's a challenge. It might sound simple, right? But when you got a pallet full of stuff, and it shows up at the store, and the stuff on the bottom is crushed because you packed it upside down, and you got all that inventory. Like, nobody buys the Captain Crunch or the bags and stuff that are all ripped up.
You got damaged product, it ain't gonna go. That's not gonna happen, right?
That's right. So these distribution centers, that job is hard.
So you've got like a trainer in the glasses. So if I'm new and I'm wearing your glasses, there's someone because it's analyzing, it can see what's going on with the pallet itself?
Cassius, in this case, it's an artificial intelligence engine that's telling the person how to pack. There's not even a person involved. You give the guy the glasses. The person's got the glasses on. It shows a representation of the pallet. It shows the piece of merchandise that has to go on the pallet, and it shows them exactly where to put it. And it's really, really fast because the scanners and everything are in the glasses. So, and it's hands-free. So you got a brand new employee. He's never done the job before. Within a week, he's packing pallets proficiently.
You can literally see it in augmented reality, like in real space.
Yes, and the software and the AI engine is building the pallet for this person. Right now, it takes many months for a person to learn how to pack pallets proficiently, but not this way.
Wow. Man, that's some pretty cool stuff, man. You're on the cutting edge for real, Paul. And so you said you were the first person, or certainly part of the first group of people to bring augmented reality headset to the consumer marketplace way back in 1992?
Yeah, there's a product called the VFX1. It was the world's first consumer virtual reality headset. You can look it up, VFX1. It's kind of cool, actually. We still get people hanging I wish they were. At the time, these things look like a football helmet, frankly.
That was 1992.
Yeah, this is 92. And they were VR, right? So they're fully immersive. They weren't about the real world back then, right? You'd put them on. But Quake, Doom, I mean, all these first-person shooters. There were 100 titles that worked with them. John Carmack software all ran with our stuff. You can look up John Carmack. He's Mr. First-person shooter guy. Anyway, cool product. We sold $6 million worth of product in our first quarter, but it was way ahead of its time. So I bought out all those shareholders, and that's where Vuzix came from. And we initially focused on the defense space and then really got into enterprise and making lightweight, truly wearable stuff and shrinking the optics and making it so Oakley sunglasses are right around the corner.
Well, let me ask you one more thing then. So what about smartphones, right? I'm looking at my notes here on my smartphone, and like that's like the next iteration of the computer, right? There's more computational power on a smartphone today than there was in the first space shuttle, right?
Yeah.
Now, we're in the tech space. We've had the benefit of being able to see the evolution of the internet over the past, 20, 30 years. And now, we're on to phones in our pockets that can do, it's basically a computer. What about, how do you see that trend? Like, are those going to go out of style and everybody's just going to wear glasses instead? What do you think is coming for the next 5 years?
So my mom still has a phone with a wire hooked up to the wall. Not everybody adopts new technology.
Yeah, that's true.
This is connectivity in a way it's just never happened before. It's going to completely change the way people do things. You're not going to be able to do it with a phone. Think about mapping services for a minute. It used to be people got a printed map, right? And then they'd get the directions and they'd kind of draw on the map. And then GPS came along, then the phone came along. When's the last time you looked at a paper map? Mm-hmm. This evolution is going to happen with glasses.
But we won't even need a phone or an external piece of hardware because it's so small. The whole computer's in the glasses, right?
And Cassius, the information now is related to what you're doing, the real world. It's like right now when you look at a map on your phone, you got your phone up and you're looking down onto it and you're trying to like orient it to the street, and you walk out and get hit by the car. You
go like 5 blocks the wrong direction before you realize you're going wrong.
Yeah, with the glasses on, it's a perfectly seamless connection to the metaverse, the information about where that restaurant is that you want to get to, and the road that you're standing on, so it can paint it on the road and you're not lost, and that information belongs in front of you. It's not disparate, a third party screen that you have to look at and then connect back to the real world. It's integrated seamlessly into the world that you're in. When that happens, you will not pick up your phone to do mapping again. And that's just one application. Pokemon Go is no different. Gaming, there's just so many things that are going to just be natural in a pair of glasses. It takes time for that to happen. ARKit, ARCore, Google, Apple, they're all pushing for this. Microsoft is the same thing. Spaces, the metaverse is coming up. This is only a matter of time though, Cassius. And the form factor for the glasses is a key piece of this, because nobody's going to walk around like they stepped off the Starship Enterprise. Made that point earlier, which is where we play in this mostly. And a lot of these larger companies are coming to Vuzix now. We have an OEM division at Vuzix. Our mission with that group is to supply the core tech that's going to be in these glasses for the future. But of course, in enterprise, Vuzix is, we're holding our own. We stand in a great place. There's probably not an hour of the day that goes by where there's not an operation happening in an operating room somewhere around the world where our glasses aren't being used.
Wow.
So we have a really good enterprise business that's happening at Vuzix. But the really amazing piece of everything that we're doing is really more about our core OEM business and the optics and the display engines, which we believe have a chance to be in every pair of glasses that ever gets sold. You think about how many phones get sold? Billions on an annual basis.
Right.
It's that kind of a business. This is industry changing. It's world changing technology.
Wow. Well, it was great to have you on, Paul. Last thing before we go, I want to have my Web3 music come out of my Vuzix glasses in the future. I ended my rap with that. So that way we can have a music player in the glasses. It plugs maybe into your ears from the glasses, or a little speaker or something like that in the works maybe one day down the line.
Oh yeah, dude, all of our stuff has audio in it, and I can just see it. And world explodes in front of you. Absolutely. Or going to the concert without actually having to even be there.
There you go, right there. I touched on that on a previous show too. Volumetric capture, all sorts of things can be in the Vuzix glasses.
Well, those things are all designed to work around the glasses that Vuzix is building.
Man, Paul, it was great having you on, Popping Crypto with Cassius Cuvée, displaying all these Web3 tech innovations and everything else that's coming down the line. So VUZI on the NASDAQ, and is also in 2 of Cathie Wood's funds. All right, Paul, man, appreciate you coming on, man, and Maybe when we get next level innovations of Vuzix, I'll have you back on to give us the update.
Well
I'm
done,
glad you
Kevin.
like the song though, man.
Dude, I love it. Are you kidding me? I've never had a freaking rap song done about music. Our whole crew is going to love it. This is going to play around the office all the time, I bet you.
Cool. Then I'll have to make you just like a song, an MP3 version of it too, right? We have the show, and then I'll probably go re-record it, like so I can mix it a little bit, you know?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I got you covered. I got you, Paul.
All right, man.
All right. Thanks a lot for coming on the show, Paul.
For sure, Cassius.
You missed a good one if you wasn't there. Taking over the game, man. NFTs, all that. That's how we get it, man. Artists taking it back for ourselves.